So there really wasn't much to make a video on with this Troy-Bilt because it was a simple but somewhat common reason why it was gotten rid of. The owner told me that he thought there was an issue with spark, something to do with the coil, not sending spark to the plug. These Briggs & Stratton engines, the coils on them are very reliable. I've been messing with lawnmowers, small engines, for over 12, 13 years now. And it's only been like maybe a handful of times, 3, 4, 5 times, where I've actually encountered a machine of any brand that's had a coil that's failed. It's rare, it does happen, but it's likely that that's not going to be what's causing your issue. If you are not getting a spark at your plug, I would start with the simplest of things first. Start with the plug. If you have a good used plug that you know is working, pull that one out, put in that one that you know is working, and go from there. If you still don't have spark, I would like to say this is actually more common than a spark plug issue, but this little tang here that is actuated by the flywheel brake assembly, this is what grounds out your coil when you release your handle. So not only does it throw the brake up against the flywheel, but it also kills the spark. Now I've seen, in fact, one of the most recent mowers that I worked on, the cable assembly worked perfectly fine, but the ground was a different story. It was not grounding out, and that's because it was not making contact at any point. I fixed that, readjusted it, and then that machine works perfectly fine. This engine, what I think was happening was they were contacting this tang at all times when the handle was pulled all the way down. Now, sometimes this can happen with, you know, an impact or something, or somebody taking things apart. Maybe they jostled something and misaligned this. I've seen that happen before. It's easy enough to fix. But what you want to do is just get your top cover off so you can see this assembly. And this works for a Honda, this works for Kohler, this works for the Chinese knockoffs. Every machine that uses this same system, this is valid for. It's not just Briggs & Stratton's. But you just want to make sure that when you have your handle all the way down, and I'm going to depress it right now, that it comes off of that tang. This one is. I could probably stand to adjust it just a little bit, but it seems to be working fine now, because what I did was, with the handle all the way down, I had a pair of pliers and I grabbed this side. It doesn't really matter what side you get, and I just pulled this all the way forward. So if there is any sort of obstruction in the cable, this doesn't work all the time, it helped it go past that. And when these cables wear out, sometimes they'll get corrosion or rust inside them, and they might pull in and pull out, or seem to, but they might not be getting the full length of travel. So especially on a machine that's over 10 years old like this one is, this machine's a 2006, it's good to inspect these cables from time to time, because they can honestly be a problem even if they don't seem to be. So now this machine works perfectly fine after I messed with it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with the coil. I haven't had to spend any money on it, and I haven't even had to put any gas in it because the owner left the gas in it. I just figured I'd give you guys that heads up in case you're trying to chase a no spark issue on any sort of lawnmower. Again, it does not matter the brand or the manufacturer. If it's got this same system and it's an older machine, definitely give it a check, because it could be very possible where your issue is coming from. like I said, sometimes it pays off really well to check the simplest things first, because other than that issue with it killing the spark, there was nothing wrong with this thing. Stay tuned for more videos.